33-year-old, I think her name is Itayvia Lloyd, who admitted to police that she threw her 11-year-old autistic son off their fourth floor balcony of Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate your support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the like button down below and hit the notification bell down below so that you're alerted when I post new videos. Well guys, I have been a little MIA for the past few days. Basically, just like everybody else, I'm sure Corona has had me in kind of like on a roller coaster of emotions or anxiety, and took me off of my regular recording schedule. I have a 19-year-old daughter who is in the who just completed basic training in the U.S. Army, and as a result of coronavirus, her schedule and plans have drastically changed, what feels like from day to day, which is a lot, and that kind of has me in a little bit of a moment, you know, here and there. And of course, you know, as you can imagine, that's caused some anxiety for me, with her being away from home, still being relatively young, but having to, you know, navigate something like this. How are you guys doing with the whole coronavirus situation? I'm sure it has an impact on just about anybody who watches, whether it be from, you know, your school, your children's school or work, or, you know, just the average everyday task like going out to the grocery store. It is kind of crazy. So yeah, I mean, just been kind of dealing with that for the last few weeks. So I just had to take a break, but it's time to get back to these stories and these cases because they are important, and it'll hopefully take my mind off of something that I obviously can't change, and you know, put my energy to possibly changing other things. So today we are going to discuss the recent case of 33-year-old, I think her name is Itayvia Lloyd, who admitted to police that she threw her 11-year-old autistic son off their fourth floor balcony of their apartment. This happened on March 9th, which is just, I think, a few weeks ago. The incident happened at the Union Flat Apartments on Hamden Avenue near Charles Avenue in the St. Anthony Park neighborhood around 8:40 a.m. in the morning on Monday, and that's in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, thank God this little boy is still alive. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening but critical injuries. It was reported that he at least had one broken femur and a fractured jaw and some head injuries. Now, as I said, police reports say that the 11-year-old is autistic or on the autism spectrum. He is 11 years old and he is nonverbal. According to his 6-year-old brother, according to his mom's girlfriend, he can only use or say the words yes and no, which means I'm sure that he requires round-the-clock care on a daily basis. Itavia's 6-year-old son told police that his mom threw his brother over the balcony after she had some sort of argument with her girlfriend / partner, and he also told officers that his mother had pushed his older brother off the balcony. of course, Itayvia was arrested, and at the moment that she was arrested, she started rambling and became somewhat belligerent. Police say that she was indicating that, people were after her or had been after her for years, particularly some woman that hated her. She sounded like she was just basically talking out of her mind. She even, spat on the police officer during her arrest. And once she got to the station and police began to investigate her, she reportedly started ripping up papers and just kind of like just going crazy in the interrogation or investigation room, and then proceeded to expose herself, which at that point the police decided to end the interview. Police say the 6-year-old boy said that he woke up in the morning on Monday morning to his 11-year-old brother laughing, and his mom Itayvia, kind of being upset and telling the little boy that, this is not a joke, stop laughing. He said the exchange happened shortly after Itayvia and her partner got into some sort of altercation. But Itavia's girlfriend says that she was acting out of her mind on Monday, and they had not been in any sort of argument or had any sort of fight or altercation. She just was kind of like out of control or out of her, not acting normally. So it seems like police continued to try to interview Itayvia to get her take on what was going on. And at that point, she later admitted to investigators that at the time that she was arrested, she was acting out in a fit of rage, and she was basically having a difficult time dealing with her older son, which is the 11-year-old who has autism because of his disabilities. She indicated that the weekend prior to the incident, she had to attend a family member's funeral service, and she had also been struggling with drinking and dealing with a lot of stress. She did say during the interview that she attempted to end her son's life, but she wants him to be with her. Clearly, I feel like Itayvia had lost all sense of reality at the moment that she obviously threw him off the balcony. It's very heartbreaking. I think that it's a bigger conversation to be had. It's unfortunately horrific that this little boy had to suffer at the hands of his mother, the person who's supposed to care for him. The court, after she was arrested and she had her first court appearance, the judge determined that they wanted to have her evaluated doing a mental evaluation on her. And I just want to know what your thoughts are on that. To me, it sounds like the responsibilities of taking care of a special needs child became too much for Itayvia. I'm not excusing what she did by any means. I do wish that she would have sought out help, maybe even attempted putting the son up for adoption, or using family members to get some sort of break or relief, or even reaching out to some sort of organization for support, because it sounds like she was trying to do all of this stuff on her own. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Do you have any empathy or compassion for her in this situation? Clearly the judge does, as well as attorney and prosecutor said that this was just a horrific situation for the little boy, as well as the family and the mother, because it's heartbreaking. I think that if, she had gotten to her wit's end and just kind of lashed out and reacted in that way, probably feeling helpless. Now, does it excuse her? No, absolutely not. Not at all. By no means am I making excuses for what Itayvia did. The act that she committed was inexcusable and horrific, and it sounds like I said, it seems like she just was at a state of distress and she needed someone to help her. I do think she may be in a situation where the necessary resources for her to cope with a special needs son and manage his disability may not have been available to her, or she did not know how to get those resources. To me, that is a big part of this conversation. Families, particularly African American families, have that have responsibility for caring for children or adults with special needs often do it without having the knowledge on how to get certain resources to help them in their situation. I wonder if she was assigned a social worker, or if her son was assigned a social worker by the state. I've always thought that in most cases like this, the child does have like a state of, child welfare person who monitors the progress and development of the child, or even the support that the child is receiving. So I wonder if maybe Itayvia had not sought out those services, or maybe that child services had not been in contact with this family as often as they should have been. If she did, I wonder if Itayvia did have those resources, I wonder if the person who was responsible for, like a case manager monitoring this particular case, I wonder if they had any information on whether or not they noticed, care that was below standard or questionable, or maybe any red flags went off for them. What do you all think about that? Let me know in the comments below how if you have experience with dealing with children who have special needs, or adults with special needs. Are you assigned like a case manager automatically, or is it something that you have to seek out? How did you go about getting those services? Let me know in the comments below. I'm wondering if someone can let me know like what she should have done, and like what steps should she have taken in this particular case to probably get some additional help. I do hope and pray that her son is able to pull through his medical challenges with no additional impact to his day-to-day life. He already has so many challenges being nonverbal and on the autism spectrum. Like the judge said in this case, it's horrific for everyone involved, the little boy, his mom, and the family. Itayvia is being charged with attempted second-degree murder, which I believe is appropriate, and she faces up to 20 years in prison. Let me know what you think about that charge in the comments down below. I personally think it's appropriate. I think that she does have responsibility to even reach out to people if she felt like things were getting to be too much for her. Even if it was something as simple as telling her girlfriend or her partner, hey, look, I'm out of it. I can't take it. I need you to watch him. You don't have to do much. Just leave him, chill with him for a little bit, but I need to go take a break. So she's 33 years old. She's not a child. She's a real grown adult. So she does have a lot of responsibility in this particular situation to reach out to her resources that are around her. They may not be the best resources, but whatever resources she has, I think she has an obligation, or she had an obligation, to reach out to those people. In addition to the second-degree attempted murder charge, Itayvia also faces 2 counts of fourth-degree assault for allegedly attempting to punch an officer and spitting on another one after she was arrested. She's being held without bail until her evaluation results, which are expected to come out around, I guess, sometime in May, because her next court date is May 26th. Her 6-year-old is in the custody of Child Protective Services, and personally, I just feel like this is not an ideal situation either. I want to know where her family is. I want to know, can't someone else take on the responsibility of watching him right now, or even the girlfriend? Can't she take care for him during this particular time? He's already experiencing so many different changes. Let me know your comments about that below. You know, do you think that maybe the 6-year-old should be under the care of Child Protective Services or someone like an immediate family member? That's really all I have for this particular case, guys. As I do with all of the cases that don't have or are still pending and don't have an ending, I am going to continue to monitor this case because I want to know, you know, what's the outcome? What does her mental evaluation come back and say? I know that at one point during her investigation, she's told the police that she was acting out, but she acknowledged that she was just putting on, like going through the motions, probably trying to make them think she was crazy, but ultimately something is clearly wrong with her. She felt like that was what she needed to do. Like I said, I pray that her son makes a full recovery with regard to his injuries, and I hope both boys end up finding a loving and caring home where they are not separated. That was my other concern. Like, you know, it's bad enough that he has autism, but then to be separated from his brother, I'm pretty sure that he recognizes the familiarity of them being together and, you know, knowing him, even with his being on the autism spectrum. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video. I'm putting the link to some resources down in the description box below for parents who are struggling with children who are on the autism spectrum. The link is to a parent's guide to autism from autismspeaks.org. I'm also going to include a link to the American Academy of Pediatrics autism resource list in case it may be helpful to someone. And lastly, I'll link a list of resources specifically for parents who need help coping with children who have special needs like autism. And for you all who are watching, if you know of anybody or you personally have experience with someone who has autism or any other special need, and you know what Itayvia should have done to have additional support, whether it be, you know, contacting the state, reaching out to her case manager, let me know. If you are under the impression that she should have had a case manager and she probably did, and she just didn't reach out to that person, I know that the states, a lot of states are bogged down in the Child Protective Services area, but that's still, she should still be able to reach out to some sort of other organization for help, because there are so many. There are a tremendous number of organizations that help parents deal with children who have special needs, in particular autism. So that's all I have for today, guys, on this story. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I will continue to monitor this case because I do want to know what happens. I don't think that Itayvia should get off for what she's done. I did do a search of her criminal background, and you know, people are showing a mugshot from 2010, but what I found in Minnesota was that she had several misdemeanor like traffic type infractions, and maybe that's what that charge is. Maybe that's what that mugshot is from. Outside of that, I didn't see any other criminal history that would rise to the level of what she did with her son. I don't see any other cases with the exception of a child support case. That's really all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please continue to watch, and please like this video. If you don't like it, please dislike this video, but please consider subscribing to my channel. I have more to come. Thank you guys. Bye.